Salute everybody. Welcome to Miss Parker. Miss Parker. I hope everybody's had a blessed hump day. It's been a long day for me, but I'm down to my last. I am down to my last, but you save the best for last. You always just have to save the best for last. And I have a great guest coming tonight in honor of the George Floyd. So I'm excited about this one. I'm nervous, guys. I usually don't be nervous, but with Uncle Selwyn coming, I'm super nervous and stuff. But let me get my shout outs and stuff. Miss Douglas, Precious Meadow, Miss Hill, Sweets, Charger Girl, Letitia McGee. Thank you guys so much for becoming a member. TT Salusis, thank you so much. I don't know where everybody is. This is crazy, but hey, let me get the introductions out. Please don't forget that like button as you come in. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a live. And also, help me reach my goal. Help me get that goal in, guys. Let me do this really quick. I'm waiting on Uncle Selwyn to come in. Hey y'all. Hey Boopy. Hey Diamond. Hey Latasha. Hey Leo the Lion. Give me 1 second. Hey Dale. Hey Just Missy. Hey Camille. How y'all doing? Happy initiation. Let me let Uncle Selwyn know I'm ready when he is. Give you a little bit about Uncle Selwyn. And we're going to talk about it. I do these history nights on Wednesday. Hey, Real Vibes, salute. Kamara, what it do? Capricorn, what it do? Miss Sharon, Venetia, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? T Lady, what it do? What it do, sisters? Mocha Marley, what it do? Yolanda Moore, what it do? I definitely, hey, Miss Nanette, what it do? What it do, sister? Hey, Eight, how y'all doing? I told him I'm ready when he is. Let me give you guys an update of who Uncle Selwyn is that's going to be joining and stuff. Hey, Nadine. Latasha Boss Lady, what it do, Sister Rhapsody? Selwyn Jones is George Floyd's uncle, known for his activism, advocating. Let me start over, you guys. I'm so sorry. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Juju. Hey, Betty. Selwyn Jones is George Floyd's uncle, known for his activism advocating for police reform, racial justice, and dismantling systematic racism following his nephew's death. He co-founded organizations like the Hope 929 Foundation, also referred to Justice 929, to honor Floyd's legacy and drive positive change through programs, advocacy, and promoting the medical civil rights. Joan uses his platform to raise awareness about police brutality and systematic racism, and we all know that that's what George Floyd endured. He co-founded the Hope 929 Foundation, which focuses on promoting civil rights and creating a lasting impact in memory of George Floyd. George Floyd's civil rights was definitely violated. Hey, Miss Loki. Derek Chauvin and all the other officers that was involved definitely violated Georgia's civil rights. Promoting the Medical Civil Rights Act, Jones advocates for a bill that will require police to provide medical assistance to individuals who report injuries or difficulty breathing during an arrest. Because a lot of times we see them on the ground and we hear them say, "I can't breathe." And they do nothing. Hey, Takasa. They do nothing for those people. Support for families. He has supported other families affected by police misconduct, such as the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Community programs. The Hope 929 Foundation supports reintegration programs for formerly incarcerated individuals, focusing on issues like health, addiction, and housing. So that's good. I like that he gives back and stuff to those who went through something similar to his nephew. He's giving back. He's putting everything, all of him, back into the community, and I love that. His this is his perspective. Call for action. Joan urges people to engage with the issues of racism and police brutality rather than trying to move on from them. Focus on systematic change. He believes that meaningful change requires addressing systematic issues, not just individual incidents. And I like that because he's looking at all around America, not just saying, okay, let's focus on my nephew. Let's focus on Trayvon Martin. Let's focus here. Hey, Linda Ward. Legacy for George Floyd. Jones sees his work as a way to continue the fight for equality and justice that George Floyd's death brought to the forefront of national and global consciousness. So then I want to get on to George Floyd. George Floyd actually has a birthday coming up in 6 days. So it's about to be a happy heavenly birthday to George Floyd. Let me see. Thank you, Latasha. Thank you for the cash app. I appreciate that, sister. His life was ended on May 25th, 2020 by Derek Chauvin, J. Alexander Kuhn, Thomas Lane, and Tu Teo. His life was brutally taken when Derek Chauvin, who was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison. So he has 22 and a half years in state, and Derek Chauvin now has to serve, after that sentence is complete, he will have to serve 21 years in federal prison for violating George Floyd's civil rights. J. Alexander Cohen got 3 years federal and 3 to 5 years state. How do y'all feel about hearing that these ones, and they got them for manslaughter? Thomas Lane, 3 years federal, 3 years state, manslaughter. Tu Teo got 3.5 years federal and 4.75 years state for violating Georgia's civil rights. When you heard this story, it gives you that unease feeling. And I want to tell you guys why, because I'm going to play George Floyd's story in just a second, but I feel like everybody's knee was on George's neck because I watched. That's just like, I break in the house, I rob and get all the jewelry. My homegirls watch. But just because they watch, they get less time. When we're all breaking in, they're just watching. And I don't feel like 3 years and 3.5 years, even though they have to go to state and serve that time, because we know that state time, they can get in, do what, 1.5 years or something, and come out of it. And things like that. But with, the federal time is straight, but 3 years for watching witnesses watch is crazy to me. It's heartbreaking. She said, not just him, right? Hey, Miss Texas T, how you doing? Hey, Kamara. Yeah, Kamara, you're correct. All of them should have been held accountable for what they done to George. I want to get into this video about it. Let me read this first. Born October 14, 1973, Fayetteville, North Carolina, United States, and was killed May 25th, 2020 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was a black man whose death was videotaped under the knee of a white police officer. It sparked protests in 2020. And y'all know when Colin Kaepernick got on that knee, baby. Hey, Pookie Poo. Hey, Goddess. When Colin Kaepernick got on that knee, it changed. It set off a whole domino effect. But it changed how America started moving. Floyd it said, before his murder made him a global icon for racial justice. Floyd was an ordinary man whose hopes, strivings, and struggles highlighted the enduring power of racial injustice in America. His life began and ended in poverty. In his various attempts to escape his circumstances, fell victim to both the insidious force of systematic racism and the unforgiving consequences of his own mistakes. Known to family and friends as Perry, Floyd was 3 years old when he moved to Texas from North Carolina with his mother and siblings. The family settled in Houston's historically black Third Ward, moving to a housing project that was segregated by government design and depleted due to government neglect. Coming of age in one of the most impoverished sections of the city, Floyd quickly came to know the cruel reality of growing up black and poor. He often had to eat bananas and mayonnaise sandwiches and wash his clothes in the bathroom sink. He lost friends to gun violence and became accustomed to seeing police cars speeding through his neighborhood. Still, Floyd, who grew fond of telling friends and relatives and strangers, "I love you," showed a desire to transcend his circumstances from an early age. In a brief essay he wrote while in second grade in February of 1982, Floyd indicated that he wanted to sit on the highest court in the land. He said, "When I grow up, I want to be a Supreme Court judge. When people say Your Honor, he did the road bank, I will say be seated. And if he doesn't, I will tell the guard to take him out. Then I will beat my hammer on the desk. Then everybody will be quiet." Thank you, Tosh. I appreciate you so much. However, an underfunded, segregated school system and the trauma of poverty made realizing his dreams particularly elusive. As Floyd sprouted to more than 6 feet tall as an adolescent, he was encouraged to pursue athletics as a best way to earn a living and escape his circumstances. As he began to condition his body for an athletic excellence, his mind remained focused on making a global impact. "I'm going to be big," he told his high school classmates in the spring of 1992. "I'm going to touch the world." Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy that he said, "I'm going to be big and I'm going to touch the world." And George, in heaven, you definitely have touched the world. Floyd excelled in sports, receiving top honors as he played basketball and football for Jake Yates Senior High School in the early 1990s. He played tight end for Yates' football team that made it to Texas State Championship in 1992. Thank you, Miss Sharon. I appreciate that. Whoever gets that gifted membership, please say thank you to Miss Sharon. He ultimately was recruited to play football at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, but he was unable to meet the school's academic benchmarks and was never deemed eligible to play. And was with his family in Houston continuing to struggle financially and his pathway to athletic stardom seeming more and more narrow, Floyd dropped out of college in the summer of 1997 and returned to Houston's Third Ward. Floyd soon pursued another avenue for touching the world: music. He befriended Robert Earl Davis Jr., an up-and-coming DJ in Houston, popularly known as DJ Screw, and began to appear as a rapper on Davis' well-received mixtapes, performing as Big Floyd on Another Friend song. Floyd opted against rapping about money and cars and instead buried his insecurities as a man still struggling to find his footing in his 1920s. He rapped in one song, "I've been broke for so long, I've been stuck in last place for so long, loaded with potential, but I'm still going wrong." That was one of his lyrics in his rap song. I hate this, guys. Give me a second. I'm sorry. This commercial done came up on my phone, y'all. This advertisement thing. It ain't nothing but the devil, but I ain't gonna let it stop me. It said, black men like Floyd often, let me see where it went. Oh, it was about this time that Floyd began to get in trouble with the law. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Floyd was arrested and imprisoned multiple times, mostly for nonviolent drug offenses. Unable to afford a lawyer, he pleaded guilty each time and served several months-long stints in jail. His legal troubles increased as politicians and police across the country pushed the war on drugs, which disproportionately targeted young black men like Floyd, often with devastating consequences. Upon becoming a felon after an $18 drug deal landed him in jail for 6 months, a time during which Floyd said he developed claustrophobia. Floyd quickly found his options for legitimate work largely disappear. He soon sailed from dealing drugs to using them and told officers during a 2002 arrest that he suffered from substance abuse and depression. He received no treatment but was sent to jail for 8 months. And y'all ever seen somebody go to jail and come right back out and do something? Because sometimes when we tell them that we use drugs and things, they don't get us resources in jail um, to keep us clean and stuff. There's nothing in jail to help us, no kind of resources, no AA, no NA. So sometimes when you get out and people like, damn, you wonder why ever Uncle Bobby went to jail and went for 10 years and got out using drugs. Like, what did Uncle Bobby get? He didn't get educated or nothing. He had no resources in jail to get clean or to stay clean. No 10 steps, no 12 steps, nothing. Floyd's most serious prison stint came after he pled guilty to participating in a 2007 armed robbery of a home where a young mother was staying with her children. The woman told the police that she was not sure whether Floyd was a culprit, and Floyd told friends he was not guilty and that he would not get a fair trial. Facing the prospect of facing the prospect of a 40-year prison sentence if convicted, he accepted a plea deal that sent him to prison for 5 years, during which time his claustrophobia worsened. Upon his release, he told friends and relatives that he was determined to get his life together and support his family. Give me a second while I call Uncle Selwyn because I want to make sure I sent him the right link. I don't know. He hasn't said anything. And I did say 6 o'clock my time because he's behind on time. So I didn't want him to be messed up thinking it was going to be his 6 o'clock. Just make sure we're on the same page.
Hello, love.
Hey, Uncle Selwyn, I just wanted you to know I started. You can come whenever.
Oh, no. 6 o'clock was my time.
Yeah, it's my time.
Oh, snap. All right, I'm going to have to do it on my phone from inside the car.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. I've been making mistakes like that all week, like with Marquell, and that's gonna be my fault. Let me start doing it on their time because they're an hour behind and stuff. So I do apologize. It is sad, Ranitra. It is. But George said he was gonna get his life together for his family and stuff, and everybody doesn't come out of that dark demon that's scratching our back and stuff, which I call drugs. I call it a demon because some people don't battle it. Some people stay in that dark place forever. Floyd's maternal great grandfather, Hillary Thomas Stewart, was born enslaved in 1857. After receiving his freedom, he amassed more than 500 acres of farmland in Harnett County, North Carolina. As one of the wealthiest black men in his community, he dreamed of passing down generational wealth to his descendants, but white officials in town had other plans, launching a series of fraudulent and predatory tax and business schemes to strip him of his land in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Floyd's forebears were left to work as sharecroppers for decades, toiling, toiling on white-owned tobacco farms and never rising up above the poverty line. Did y'all hear that? That George Floyd's great-great-grandfather, Hillary Thomas Stewart, had 500 acres that the white man stole. That they was putting out false fraudulent tax things on them, predatory tax, and a series launching series of fraudulent and predatory tax. I got Uncle Selwyn.
Happening.
Hi, Uncle Selwyn. How are
I'm
you?
here, man. See, we gotta work on our time, girl, because Central Time ain't Eastern Time. So it ain't the first time it happened, but hey, So
I
what's up,
will.
girl?
Nothing. I'm so honored to have you up. You know what I'm saying? We're 6 days away from George having a heavenly birthday. His birthday's October the 14th. So his birthday's coming up. I was just so blessed to read about your foundation in the honor of George and things like that. And I go back and do my history so I can educate myself and my people. And George had been next on my list, and I had talked to Marquel Bridges. He said, I know Uncle Selwyn. Let me connect you. He's an awesome guy. And upon reading up about your foundation and things and what you're doing with these families and stuff, giving back in the name and honor of your nephew. And you said not just for one incident, but for all. You said systematic incidents. And I love that about you, Uncle Selwyn, because we do tend to stick to one incident versus a systematic of incidents. How do you
Dear,
feel today about where the foundation is in George's name?
you know, nothing will never be enough. There will never be enough change. But all we can do is just keep battling and keep pushing forward. And as I always say, man, you wake up every day with two things. That's a chance and a choice. If we as people would put more emphasis on the choices that we make so our chances are more plentiful, I think we would find out things would get a lot better, for each and every one of us. Because it's all a matter of decisions that we make, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent or other, whether somebody else makes those decisions for us. And that's one of the problems that I have and we have as being people melanation. We have a lot of people that have always made decisions for us that weren't necessarily right or best for us. But guess what? We always persevere. We always keep pushing. We always keep moving. So when you can never stop fighting, dear, you know how that goes.
Yes. I definitely just read. I was reading a little bit about George Floyd's history and how the his great great grandfather had those acres of land and how they was doing fraudulent tax things to get that land based off of what, and how real it was. How
That
real
was
it
in
was.
that was in Coach, North Carolina, and now what's the name of the university that's on? I mean, the university that's on it now. I think Campbell College
Wow.
actually occupies that land, and dear, that's a that's something that happened to a lot of people of color back in the late 1800s or early 1900s. The Black Wall Streets, the Ridgewoods or Rosewoods, and plenty of situations like that where there were a lot of young black men that put their heart, sweat, and tears into combinating things, and it got taken away because you didn't know about your taxes, or you didn't know about certain things that you had to do to maintain property back in that day. And it's unfortunately that it happened, but it's still happening today, my dear. Think about this. Think about all the inventions that have been invented: the cotton gin, the telephone, the electricity, the remote control. Think about all of those things. People that
Mm,
look like us literally created those things, but how many people that look like us get the attention for creating those things?
yes.
Absolutely none. So we have been underestimated. We have been undervalued. We've been taken advantage. And don't think that I'm bashing, because I'm not bashing. What I'm doing is I'm speaking truth about the world in which we live in. A lot of people, the slogan, let's make America great again. You tell me this, Al, when has America really been great for people of color?
Mm, never.
Tell me that. When
Never.
has it ever been great for people of color? So all I'm trying to do, dear, as an advocate, is a man of God, as a man of peace, is to change some of these narratives, because we should all have a right. to walk, eat, sleep, talk, drive, dress however we want to, and not be judged by it, and be able to walk in the same communities and not be judged by it, not be condemned by it, not be killed by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Think about this, and we were talking about this the other day. How many people that commit heinous crimes uh, that don't look like us, how many of those get captured?
Mm.
How many young men that look like us have got stopped for a traffic stop or an alleged $20 bill and never see the light of day again? Tell me how that's fair. So, and I'm always a realist, you know? I want people to see the real things in this world that we live in. Are things horrible? Some situations need to get better. But as long as you wake up tomorrow, which that ain't promised to nobody, as long as we can wake up to fight another day, guess what, dear? We have a chance. The only
Mm.
problem with my situation is my nephew didn't get a chance to fight tomorrow or the next day. So he got his crazy old uncle fighting for him, dear. He's got people
Okay.
like you that's fighting for him, for truth, justice, and equality. So, you know what? I got the gloves on, you know, I got the hard hat on, I got the boots on, and we got to go to work, mama, because if we don't fix it, who else will?
Mm. I want to talk about a little bit about you went to Chicago. You go down there for Sonya Massey, and it broke my heart, Uncle Selwyn, when you told me only 50 people showed up.
Google
Only
it. Google
50
Uncle Selwyn in Chicago in front of the Chicago Police Department for the Sonya Massey and Dexter Reed Jr. and Reginald Clay. There's over 600 open cases of gun violence and police brutality in Chicago. And we had 600 people to come, we had 50 people or less come stand in front of the police station. And that's what bothers me, man. These things affect us all. It doesn't take any time or energy to come and show support because I promise you, back a long time ago, you didn't know nobody that was affected by police brutality or gun violence or domestic violence. Now, I promise you, everybody knows somebody that has been affected by some of the atrocities that happen in this world.
It's almost like Uncle Selwyn. It's like we're waiting for it to knock on our door.
Mama, I never thought. I looked at Ahmaud Arbery. I looked at, oh God, Sonia Bland. I looked at Eric Gardner. I've been seeing this stuff my whole entire life. I had some cousins that got missing back in the early 70s. And I've been seeing these things my whole life. And I'm sitting in front of the television and I'm looking on May the 26th, 2020, and I'm thinking, damn, they really hurting this dude, man. What, when is this going to stop? Because I just seen Ahmaud Arbery and I just seen them validate that he laid on the side of the road for 18 minutes while they were trying to figure out their stories to
Mm.
tell to the authorities that came there. And the last policeman on the scene said, hey, y'all, this guy's still breathing? It was 18 minutes later. So he literally bled out. And I'm still mad as hell. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, won't somebody help this dude? After about 2 minutes in, my sister, calls me and she said, did you see what they did to Perry? And literally, Miss L, I sat back in my chair and everything that's ever happened, that I've ever seen, that I ever realized, it came right before my very eyes. And
Mm.
I told myself as of May the 26th, 2020, I would do whatever I could to make sure these things didn't happen to anybody else. I would do whatever I could to make sure I lift the voices of all the George Floyds that nobody never knew, Think about it, dear. We had 7 billion people to acknowledge my sister's baby boy. We had 7 million people that saw the death of a black man in the middle of the street at 8:26 and 15 seconds on May the 25th get tortured until he died. Think about that. Most people have never seen such a heinous crime. And to be able to see it and watch it over and over and over again, it sparked a lot of things. It sparked a lot of emotions. It sparked a lot of chaos, and it sparked a lot of rebellion in people because people were sick and tired of being sick and tired. We had 3 people killed in what, in 3 months? Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. Then we had Amir Locke and Dante Wright. They got killed. Bam, 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 bam. You know, there's been more people killed 5 years after than 5 years before George.
Mm.
But what we did is you have to be accountable now. If we got you on video because of George Floyd, I call it D-Day. There's going to be a hell of a lot more questions that's asked about it now than was asked about it before. There's going to be a whole lot more accountability that's got to be had now than before. Because before, it was like, think about this. And I always say this to people. If Derek Chauvin, if Grayson that shot Sonia Massey in the face, if the guys that killed Tyrese Nichols, if they literally thought that they were going to get in trouble for their actions, do you think they would have taken those actions?
No.
Absolutely not. So it's the system that's been created for monsters to overdo their job and to be over aggressive and to be judge, jury, and executioner. It's a system that lets them get away with that. And people like me and you are fighting like hell to change this system. So criminals are supposed to be prosecuted. If you commit a crime, you should pay. You should do the time.
Yes.
So, and you know, Marquell, God bless his soul, but he be digging deep. He be digging deep and finding out a lot of crazy stuff. It's like Dexter Wade Jr. Not Dexter. Yeah, Dexter Wade.
Yeah, Dexter Wade.
Yep, they got to make accountability for him. Now think about this, girl. His ID was in his front pocket. His front pocket, and they said that there was no way for them to identify this young man. They assumed him. They look in his front pocket, and his ID's in his pocket.
Yes.
A police officer hit him and took him there. Now there's what, another 600 headstones out there. He was number 609. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all of these violent, vicious, malicious things that have happened, and people get away with them because of the color of their skin or the color of their uniform.
Yes.
Dear, that ain't right. That's not right. And you know that's not right. Not only have we been fighting like hell against people that don't look like us, now we got to fight like hell that people that look like us that's got a blue uniform on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, dear, you know, will it ever get to the point that we can breathe?
Mm.
Think about that. Will it ever come to the point where we can breathe? Where we don't have to be afraid to walk at night? Think about this, dear. Our parents have to literally school us on how to accept a traffic stop. In the middle of the afternoon, we get taught how to accept a traffic stop by saying 10 and 2. Be quiet. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. We have to bum down and be subservient to somebody. For what reason? Because they signed up to oversee us, but they signed up to be protected, to be a protector of us, to protect and serve.
Yes.
But it seems like they're doing an awful lot of serving to kill, or
Mm-hmm.
serving to harm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how in the hell can you
Yes.
break? How in the hell can you break in a car and get 10 years, and somebody shoot up a apartment store and get 3 months or 6 months?
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know, Miss Lowe. I don't know, Miss Lowe. I just think that the battles that we face have been ongoing, and like I told you the other day, my dear, I wish I could wake up and one thing would happen that day. I wish I could wake up and grab my phone and there was no devastation that happened, that there was no chaos happened. Sweetie, that hasn't happened in 5.5 years.
Mm.
That hasn't happened in the last 300 years. When does this come to a stop? And we got people that are using religion for their agenda.
Yes.
What? Dear, I only thought there was one religion. I only thought there was one God. Why is there over 900 different religions? How can you believe and pray and worship the same person but have 1,000 different beliefs?
Yes.
How is that? And how can somebody believe and spew hate and dissension and says John 3:16? Oh my.
It takes me what I do. I've been talking about that lately, Unc. I'm like, I don't know what kind of God y'all serve, but hey, um, it just is what it is. But it's the truth, and everything that Uncle Selwyn is saying right now is nothing but facts. How he just said, hey, I wish one day I could wake up and nothing. Me and TT was just talking about that. My moderator TT was like, I said, every time I get on Facebook, it's devastation. Let me bring Unc back. I'm gonna take you down and bring you back. Hold on, let me tell Unc to come back. Every time I look at Facebook, it's a death. And it's a tragedy. It's gun violence. Somebody got unalived. It's a little girl in Memphis that just got unalived. It's a 4-year-old that just got unalived gun violence. Now it's a little girl being raped by 8, 9, and 10-year-old. I'm looking at suicide on there every day now. Suicide notes, goodbye notes are being on Facebook. And this is every day. I've never woke up and got on Facebook and seen nothing but positivity. Nothing. It's always death. She said, and TikTok. Yes, put them on blast. Yes. And I'm like, Unc, when does it stop? When does the change come in? Okay, I got Uncle Selwyn back.
You can't keep a good man down, girlfriend. Don't
Okay.
worry about that. I'm in the middle of South Dakota riding through them hills and them dunes, but I'm here. I ain't
Okay.
going nowhere.
Okay, Unc, period. Unc, let me ask you a couple of questions if you don't mind. Is it okay?
Go ahead.
So, one of my subscribers, she wanted to know what would you want to say if you was alone in a room with Derek Chauvin?
I'm going to plead the fifth,
Okay.
uh, but I can tell you this much. If you were in the situation that I'm in, what would you say to me? Because I got a lot of good expletives that I would love to say, but reality is this: with me being where I'm at and what I do in this world, I don't believe in screwing hate. Am I mad at him? Absolutely. Will I always be mad at him? Absolutely. He took one of the loves of my life. But what I'm also mad at is a system that was created for them to destroy black people's lives, Hispanic people's lives, Caucasian people's lives, to destroy a whole race of people and them not having to pay for it. I was listening at a conversation today, and they were really literally discussing Grayson not having to go to court because it was a justifiable shooting because Sonia Massey had a pot of water in her hand. And they said that to me, and I'm thinking, y'all are crazier than hell to even be having this discussion because a pot of water from a 130-pound woman versus two guys with 14 round clips. How do you win? She never threatened or never aggressed. They said that she ran to the pot of water. No, she didn't.
She did not.
She did not do anything to cause her to be shot in the face 2 times. Nothing. But hold on, let me back up here, dear. He had been kicked off. He'd been at 6 different police departments in 2.5 years. He'd had 2 DUIs in 2.5 years.
Mm.
Now, don't you think we should get better hiring practices than if your ass was kicked off by force for obsessive source or DUIs or any other chaos? You should have your policing card pulled and not to be able to be a mall cop. Think about that. Because any other occupation, if you don't meet the criteria or you fail uh, your mandatory regulations, you get fired. Am I correct? If an electrician hooked up a wash and dryer wrong, he'd get fired. So you're going to tell me that somebody that's been to 6 different police departments that had 2 DUIs, because the last I heard, if you got 2 DUIs, you're a felon. So that means that you don't even have a right to vote anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think about that. If you get a felony, that takes away your right to vote, your right to fish, your right to hunt. But yeah, you can be a police officer that can jump from state to state and harm people. There's a young man in Illinois that's a serial killer. He's got 5 bodies on his belt. He harmed Alexis Wilson's daughter. Kara Wilson is the mother. Alexis Wilson was the 19-year-old daughter he gunned down. That was number 4. And he's still on the force.
Mm.
So think about this. We have all of these serial killers that are still working. Now they turned Tyrese Nichols murderers out the other day. I promise you, they'll have a job here in the next 3 months, 6 months. This is the crazy part about the Tyrese Nichols situation. The guy that really initiated the Tyrese Nichols stuff was a white guy to stop Tyrese Nichols. Then he called over his buddy at the Goon Squad. He never got charged. He went to the next city and now he's working. I think he's probably the assistant sheriff or assistant police
He
chief of
did.
police, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he did.
Yep. Think about that. And he initiated it. Without him stopping Tyrese Nichols, there wouldn't have been no assault. But yet he walked away from that. So the moral of that story, to answer that story, there's a lot of things I would love to say. There's a lot of things I would love to do because I'm 6'3", 245. I'd love to dance with. I'd love to take a walk with him in the moonlight. But
Mm.
who would that help? Who would that help? Would that help us as a race? Would that help us as a people? Because 2 wrongs don't make a right. He did wrong. He has to pay for his wrong. Problem I have is the other 3 people that did wrong. Sweetie, if me and you got ourselves in a sticky situation and you were sentenced to manslaughter, that's 20 years in my eyes.
That's what I said on.
12, 18, and 24 months. Think about that. 12, 18, and 24 months. All of these guys are out of jail now. They can re-enter society and they can move on with their life. We have to look at my nephew via video, via pictures. But yet, my nephew's life was only worth 12 months for somebody holding his legs there. It was only worth 18 months for somebody that had his hands on their back. Think
Mm.
about that, dear. So, dear, uh, it is hard to know these facts. It is hard to know that these atrocities happen. But I wake up every day with that new perspective and knowing it's my job to give somebody else a better opportunity or a chance to prove their innocence or to get justice. That is what drives me.
Tell me, how do you feel when people say George Floyd changed the world because it took his death to make it happen?
You know what, dear? When people tell me that they're sorry, I don't accept their apologies because this is how I look at it. My nephew had a good heart and a good soul, but he is like 65% of marginalized people. He has some kind of addiction problem. And the marginalized community, sweetie, addiction, pregnancy, a lot of those things run rapid. And unfortunately, he was affected by one of those situations, plus the mental health crisis. I'm okay with knowing who my nephew was, that was knowing my nephew's heart, wouldn't harm a fly. But this is how it goes, dear. Whenever you're addicted to something, when you're not involved or you're not dealing with that, you're normal. It's when you ingest those things, it's when you put yourself in those situations, that's when you cannot have that normal train of thought. That's when you can't have your normal train of thoughts. My nephew was a fine young man. He loved his babies, he loved his community. He just had an issue. When the lights got down low, when the depression started, it's not an excuse, but it's a reality of what a lot of marginalized people do. They numb their emotions with substances. There hadn't been anything that helped our race and our community in the last 60 years, dear, since 1968. And if I had to give my nephew's life to make a stand for everybody to wake up and to open people's eyes, I was willing to do that because we needed something to make an impact and a change. And my nephew affected the whole civilized world because people in Ghana was hollering his name because they saw that was wrong. And it's been happening continuously. And for you to actually see it and to get that emotional attachment with that, that's wrong. And people knew that. Not only black people, but white people and green people and yellow people. People on Mars knew that was wrong. So
Mm.
I'm glad to be his uncle. I'm glad to have this torch. I'm glad to have this opportunity to make an impact on people's lives, sweetie. And if it took me giving my nephew up, he could have OD'd anywhere. But the Lord saw fit for a man that had a good heart and a good soul, but knew he had an issue to give his life for change and for other people to open their eyes and see the atrocities in which we got to deal with. So I'm okay with that. I hate it, but I'm okay with having being in this place that I am so I can make a difference or impact or a change in people's lives.
Yes. Can I read you something that your nephew wrote in school? And this took me. He said, "When I grow up, I want to be a Supreme Court judge. When people say Your Honor, he did the rob bank. I will say, be seated. And if he doesn't, I will tell the guard to take him out. Then I will beat my hammer on the desk. Then everybody will be quiet." Seeing how he wanted to be a Supreme Court judge and change the world, do you feel like that he changed the world?
He changed the emotions in this world, dear. He changed how people saw police brutality. He changed the way police saw racism and hatred, bigotry. oppression. That's what he did. Did he really want to be a Supreme Court judge? You know, this is reality, dear. They tell us from the time we kids we can be anything we want to be. We can be president. We can be a Supreme Court judge. We can be the president of a Fortune 500 company. We've only had one black president.
Hmm.
Those are dreams that we all wish for. Think about this, Mama. A dream is a gift you reward yourself with.
Hmm.
Think about that. A dream is a gift you reward yourself. He rewarded us, the world, with an opportunity to make a difference. So I think that he would have probably passed up being a Supreme Court judge into being an influence on people's lives the way that he did, dear. Because think about this: the whole world for 3 days, as long as they were out of jail, the whole world was in an uproar because of a black man that was named George Perry Floyd Jr. because
Hmm.
they saw the devastating way he got murdered, lynched, and tortured. So I wish he could have did a lot better. I wish his mindset was on a different level. But guess what, dear? He did right by us. He did
Yeah.
right by us. He gave us an opportunity to have these conversations. He gave
Yes.
us an opportunity to be able to stand in court while a police officer is getting convicted of a heinous crime. So, dear, all we can do is push forward, raise our fist up high. I don't believe in looting. I don't believe in torturing or tearing down our own stuff, man. But unfortunately, being of our race, the only way we can get acknowledgement sometime is to make noise.
Yes.
Is to make noise. And I tell you, girl, George Perry Floyd Jr. sure made a hell of a lot of noise.
Yes, he
Uh,
did.
yeah, he did, girl. Yeah, he did. And you know what? Uncle Selwyn wants to make an ample amount of noise, but I want to have more change than I have noise. And as
Yes.
long as I can hang around with folks like you and Marquell Bridges and some other selected few that are fighting the good fight, we'll be okay. Can't
Yeah.
ever give up there. I'm like Ali, the 15th round. I'm ropey doping. I'm falling upside the ring. I'm punch drunk, girl, but guess what? Every day I wake up, I did something that somebody else didn't have an opportunity to do.
Yeah. Um. Do you feel the government or justice system ever truly made it right?
Hell no. No. How can you make it right when you have four people that destroyed somebody's life, destroyed somebody's daughter's life, destroyed a family, and you literally give three of them less than 5 years? And one of them got 27 years because it was basically to the point if he knew that he had to get sentenced because if they didn't sentence him, wow, would they wanted to have dealt with the chaos in this world?
Nope.
No, no. So that was something they had to do. Did they do it because of of obligation? Hell no, they did it because of necessity. They
Hmm.
didn't want that chaos and that smoke that was brought because of a black man. Think
Mm-mm.
about that.
No, they do
Think
not.
about that. You know, I
No.
sat in the courthouse and I'm looking and I literally knew that you could tell, you could feel it, especially when they weren't supposed to bring up some of the things in his past and they brought them all up and they were throwing them all out. And
Yeah.
it's like, wow, that wasn't a part of this. That
Right.
wasn't a part of this. And they brought it all up. And how can you judge a man on his past?
Hmm.
You judge a man by the content of his brain and his actions. And judging somebody by their past indiscretions, really, really,
Yeah.
think about that. Think about that. And they done that continuously throughout our time. As they judged us for being black or because we did something when we were 16 or 17 years old. Why should that follow you throughout your whole life? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has done something they wish they could stick their head in the sand. I
Mm.
guarantee you, everybody has.
Yes.
You know, it's not how you enter the storm, my dear. It's how you walk through that storm, how you
Okay.
come out on the other side of it. You know,
Yes.
uh, so unfortunately, he didn't have a chance. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that didn't have chances. But you're gonna tell me Dexter Wade uh, should have been afforded the chance? And all he was doing was walking home.
Mm.
Tyrese Nichols was going home.
Mm.
Eric Gardner's trying to sell Lucy's. A mere lock. They were looking for property. They weren't looking for people. They were looking for property. And they
Yes.
shot that young boy 3 times on the couch. Brandon Keys, Castillo, Dexter Reed Jr. They shot 96 times in 41 seconds
Mm.
because his windows were tinted. Sonia Massey, 2 times in the face with a fully caliber because I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Mm.
Huh. Girl, you tell me what's going on here.
Okay. She said, she also said one more question for you. She said, what do you miss most about the private, ordinary moments with George that no one ever saw?
His big voice, him laughing, him wanting to pick
Mm.
me up and throw me around because I've always been bigger than all of them. But they were 8 years younger, so when they grew up faster, I was getting old. And at 6'7", 250 pounds, they able to pick me up and shake me around, and I miss that. I miss seeing the smile. I miss hearing the old big scream, hey, what's up, me and him in the same room, goofy. We got all the jokes, man. We got all the jokes. You know how black folks is. We talk about how big our foreheads are, how big our noses are. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I could swim for 3 miles and not even catch the water, and I know. Look how big our noses are.
Yeah.
I was noticing that on the fly the other day. I was like, "Dang, is my nose really that big?" Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, it is. That's a grandmama nose. But
Yes.
just his bigness, just his laughter, just him being a fool, because very few people you connect with in that way that y'all seem like y'all were sitting on a tree branch 2,000 years ago. Whether I talked to him yesterday or whether I talked to him 10 years from now. It's always, what's up, Unc? What's up, fool? How you doing, man? You know, it was never any hostility. It was always looking at somebody that had a chance but didn't take advantage of the chance that he had as far as sports and a lot of other things went because he had an issue. And for anybody that condemns people with mental health crisis or addictions issues, shame on you. Shame
Mm.
on you. Don't demean them. Help them. Help them fight that battle because it's a hell of a battle, dear. And a lot of times people can't win them battles on their own.
Yes.
They've got to have a strong foundation that can help them. You know, and like I said, just a fool. I
Yeah.
will. And the crazy thing is this, dear. There's a chair on Thanksgiving, on his birthday, on Christmas, on New Year's, on all these holidays that will never be occupied because somebody thought that they would be judge, jury, and executioner on May
Mm.
the 25th, 2020 on 38 in Chicago.
Mm.
And this is the ramifications that we got to live with. I always thank God for memories, man, because all the impacted family members I deal with, you know, I I always ask them, did he love you? Did you love him the best you can? You know, you always treat people like you want to be treated,
Mm.
and you always give people the benefit of the doubt. Now, there are levels that, people can't cross, obviously, because, sweetie, you don't ever know when that last day is.
Mm.
Like I said, I wake up every day, mama, to have my day. I might have 30 minutes bad. I might have an hour bad. But I ain't letting nobody have more than that, girl.
Let's go.
'Cause
Let's go, Unc. I said it today.
I got more yesterdays than I do tomorrows. I've got more yesterdays than I do tomorrows. So
Mm,
I'm gonna wake up and talk to beautiful Nubian princes like yourself and figure out how we can make a difference or change in this world, girl. Because I ain't got time for that bickering and fighting and biting, man. Because that's another second or minute taken off my life that
mm,
I'm gonna need one day. Because I
mm.
want I'm the baby of 17, girl, and I told all my sisters and brothers, I'm gonna be going to a lot of funerals. That's all I know. I'm the baby. I'm the baby. I
Yes.
and I went from 17. Now I'm down to 7.
Mm,
We're getting in the short rows now. I got two that's in their 80s. I've got two that's in their 70s. I got two in their 60s and me.
mm.
So I'm taking every day, sweetie, as one day at a time. Woo! Sweet
Hey,
Jesus. I'm
hey.
I'm telling you, girl. I'm telling you. I may not see the promised land, dear, but you know what? I'm so gonna try to get there. I'm sure gonna take as many people as I can with me so we can celebrate
Amen.
change, justice, equality, peace. I've even gone to the point of creating an app that's called Myths. That's a prevention app, a protection app. Because how many times the situations happen where you wish you had that video?
Mm,
Well, guess
yes.
what? I created an app that you can video and audio so we can see what's going on with you. We can have lifetime GPS so we can go right to you. So nobody can distort any video or nobody can hide it in the cloud. We
Yes.
house the video. So, that's coming out here in the next month. Think about this: domestic violence, hate crimes, missing people. Think about all these things, kidnappings.
Hmm.
Think about all of these things that we are affected by every day. And Uncle Crazy Selwyn has came up with an idea to prevent some of that just
Mm.
by having compassion and thought for others, my dear. So, hey, like I said, I'm in it to win it, man. I'm in it to win it.
Yes, me too. I'm in it with you, Unc. You know, I
Hey,
already told
mama, we ride. We are riding this thing to the end, girlfriend. Every day, all day, 24/7, 365. I'm coming to Kentucky, but I ain't coming at night. I'm telling you right now. I ain't coming at night. I ain't coming at night.
you.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Uncle Selwyn, how um how is Gianna, Quincy, and Connie doing at this point with the what you have
Everybody,
nation and stuff?
everybody is maintaining. Some are doing better than others. You know, uh, some people are isolated. Because of it wouldn't even be right if Uncle Seven won't setting it straight. Some people are isolated because of materialistic things.
Mm,
That's okay
mm,
because I believe in change. I believe in helping people. I believe in fighting for people. People gotta do what they need to do and how they need to do it. And other people are satisfied with certain outcomes. How could I ever be satisfied with the outcome that we're having when people die every day?
mm.
How can I ever be satisfied with an outcome of people being demoralized, minimized, disrespected, humiliated? How can I live with that? I can't live with that because my nephew gave me a platform that I can talk about these things on. You know, I don't, I cannot fault anybody for fighting the way they want to fight. I just know how I got to fight. I know how I'm going to fight. So I'm going to be 100 miles an hour, 365, 24/7, all day, every day. I'm for justice and equality and change.
Amen. Before we get out of here, um, can we talk about Mr. Ronaldo for a second?
Help me with Ronaldo. Who are we talking about now?
Is it Ronaldo? I want to make sure. Where's my paperwork? The officer that quit his. I think he was an officer that quit his job. He stood up. He was standing up for what's right. Is it the right name? I could be saying the wrong name.
Oh,
I don't.
oh, no, the sheriff, the chief of police. Well,
The
no,
sheriff.
no. He is a great man. Now, keep in mind, he had a lawsuit against Minneapolis Police Department back in the early 2000s. Because of discrimination. So he fought those battles. We did a documentary together that's out of the UK. He fought those battles for being a black man and for being a righteous man. And when it came down to having those guys fired, he was the first one that said they have to be put on administrative leave. That was that 3 to 5 days. So he did his part, and he's continuing to do his part as a proud man of color, as a
Mm.
proud officer of the court. So he's a hero of mine. He's a hero of mine, and every time I see him, I always say, "Thank you, man. Thank you for the fight that you put up for my nephew," because a lot of people wouldn't have done that and lost your job, your career. No, but guess what? It was more important for him to do the right thing than to continue this systematic racism that we deal with in police departments. So kudos to him.
And I did say his name right, right? Did I say his name
Ronaldo.
right?
Ronaldo.
Okay. I thought so. I had it in my notes and stuff. I'm good memory for me to try to, bring up the good moments that you did share with me, Uncle Selwyn. They said, can you come back and share that app with us, the Myth app with us when it gets up and running, the audience?
Absolutely. You know I got to. I got to be able to save some folks. Come on now. That young man in Georgia, Giovanni, that left from Florida, that left from South Carolina, went to Florida and got killed. Guess
Yes.
what, dear? If he would have had my app when he texts his mom and says, "I'm scared, help me," we would have had lifetime GPS. We would have been able to visually see him and hear him. We could have been able to been right there, so he could have possibly been alive.
Mm.
So that's the reason why I'm fighting for this thing. So, girl, yes, you my sister from another mother. I ain't leaving you alone. You're gonna have to hang around with your boy because I got to come to Kentucky and get some of
Okay.
that old good catfish out there. That's what I.
Okay.
You know,
All
Unc
right.
love that catfish. Unc love
Okay.
that catfish. So,
Where's your cold? What's going on? I thought it was just 45. Hoodie
hey, girl,
up.
the sun's shining. The sun's shining, girl. It's 72. I'm getting look at it. It's 72 and I done got all ooh we got the short sleeve shirt on. You know, guess what, baby? I won't be doing this tomorrow because this the high tomorrow is the low tomorrow is 34.
Oh my
So
God.
so we ain't doing none of this stuff until late in the afternoon, and you can tell it's late in the afternoon compared to how I was talking to you the other day. So
I could
just
tell.
saying,
I was like, what's
I
going on?
I know the sun's shining, but girl, God bless you, love you, girl. Let's
um,
stay in contact, and we will work together. I promise you on that.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Thank you
I,
so much.
I, all
Honored.
day, every day, mommy.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye, my Nubian princess. Holla.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank
God bless.
you. Oh man, shout out to Let me add. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you off the stage. I'm sorry. Unc's like, I'm gone now. I think I got Unc off too quick. I don't know. Man, shout out to Uncle Selwyn, the uncle of George Floyd, who's came and shared so much, just educated me. And I hope y'all got something out of it and stuff. George Floyd's birthday is in 6 days. And Uncle Selwyn, thank you for all the great things. I cannot wait to see this Myth app come out to save our youth because we're losing. We're at a spiritual warfare with the kids, with our loved ones, period. The system that's been set up for officers like Derek Chauvin, J. Alexander Kuang, Thomas Lane, to tell to take out our black men, our black women. They took out George Floyd. The system has been set up not to protect and serve, but to protect and unalive. And we see it so often. We've seen it with Jaden Bridges, who I'm going to be bringing his family on next. I'm going to be bringing Dexter Wade's family on next. Yeah. His mother still hasn't got the answers. Dexter Wade had an ID in his wallet in his pocket. Yet the police hit him, to protect and serve, and buried him behind a jail without his mother's consent and said, "We don't know your son. We don't know anything. We haven't heard about your son." So that's what Uncle Selwyn's foundation is set up on. It is systematic, not a single incident. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Sanji, thank you for the great questions. Thank you guys so much for the super stickers and the super chats. Man, Miss Sharon, thank you so much for always gifting somebody with a membership. This is what I like to see. Because if I'm ready to turn up, guess what? You're going to see hundreds of people in here. But when it's time to do something like this, because we keep talking about change, a change ain't going to come if we ain't doing nothing about it. Change ain't going to come. So I hope you guys pull up with me next Wednesday. We're going down to New Orleans, baby. We got to go see what happened down there with Hurricane Katrina victims. Hopefully, I will have some people on the show. Let me go work on that. Make sure I can get them on here for Wednesday. And then I'm working on Trayvon Martin's mother. I'm working on her, okay? I hope Miss Martin hears this. Marquel, thank you so much for getting me and Unc connected and these other great people. Oscar Grant, if you guys haven't went and seen that movie, that this is Michael B. Jordan's first movie, and everybody has told me you're not going to be able to watch it without having a tissue, and you're not going to watch it twice. So I'm going to have his family on here as well, to give us a better insight. It's so many people in Jordan Hill. Hopefully one day Jordan Hill, 10-year-old Jordan Hill, unalived by a neighbor who unalived him and kept going, and nothing happened. So I got so much Jalen Lewis. I'm going to be covering his trial. Capitol Police took his name. The Fruitvale, put him on blast. The Fruitvale with Michael B. Jordan in it. I'm going to be having their family. The movie's based off of Oscar Grant. I'm going to be having his Oscar Grant's family on here as well. Thank you, Drea. Yes. She said the movie OMG is so sad. Everybody's told me the Fruitvale Station. Yes. Thank you guys so much for putting it in here. I'm going to have their family on here, put them on blast. And thank you for coming, Candy, my sister from the other side. So many people I'm going to be having on the show. I'm going to be having Jaden Bridges' family on here. Hopefully I can get Michael Jenkins on here, or Eddie Parker, one of those people. Prayers to putting some prayer hands in for each of these families, okay? And Jalen Lewis's mom right now, she's definitely in grief mode. Put some prayer hands up for her, please. Jalen Lewis. Capitol Police took his life. He was a father of 3. He was at a stoplight and they took his life. But prior to taking his life, they took a African American mother of 5 the same way. And it's funny because it's the same officer. What Uncle Selwyn just said, the same officer that went and got a job after taking Jalen Lewis's life with the same police station. Yeah. When does it stop? It stops with us coming together, making a change. Thank you, Novi. Wanting a difference. I don't want it to knock on my door. I don't want to wait. Shout out to Uncle Selwyn for that Myth app. I so wished it was made in the idea for Trayvon Martin, for Giovanni, for Trey Reed. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Okay, Ashley, and I would love to hear from you, Ashley. I would love for you to join me on the panel, Ashley. She said, Katrina hit my senior year. I almost fell, but God, I pushed through and graduated with honors. Okay, congratulations, baby. Prayers to those families. I thank each and every one of you guys. This was an amazing live. Uncle Selwyn, you was amazing. And I thank you for gracing my panel. It's an honor to have greatness such as yourself here. I don't look for the Michael Jordans and LeBron James here at my panel. I'm honored with the greatness of having people that won't change. And I'm not saying you men aren't great at what you do, but great is when you can try to make a difference and not be scared, especially with us being against millions. It's like put us on the scale and we down here. You know what I'm saying? So, to fight against this, and Marquell again, Marquell Bridges is amazing. I share one of his documentaries on my community post on YouTube. So please go check that out as well. I can't wait to watch some of them with you guys and break them down and talk about them. And again, thank you guys for joining me on History Night. Thank you, Candy. I appreciate you so much. She said, will do. Thank you, Ashley. It'll be next Wednesday, same time. Thank you, Candy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yes, I've only watched it once. It's so sad. Bad freckle face. Hey, Montrese, how you doing? It's okay, Lola. Just catch the replay. His energy was uplifting and infectious. He can push through. Then so can we. Yeah, and I'm gonna be helping. Trying to get on board with his foundation. The Riders Foundation is getting started. I paid the fees. I just got to get a couple more things in order. I got to pick out my committee. And guess what? We're up and rolling. The Riders Outreach Program is going to be up and rolling. I'm so proud of myself. I always give up on my dreams. I always give up. Yes, I think so. Put them on blast. I think so. I always give up on anything good for me or anything good that I wanted to do. I give up. But this time I was like, I'm not giving up even if it takes all my money. Y'all see I ain't have my lashes done. My nails is about to be fucked up. Everything on me is fucked up, but it's worth it. It's worth not having my eyes done. It's worth not having my nails done. It's worth not having nothing to give something back. Something I took from my community for so long. It finally feels good to be able to give back. And I love it. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being my anchor. I appreciate you guys so much. Throughout my good and my bad, the real ones stayed around. Y'all showed me y'all face, not your bad. Because a lot of times on this app, people only show you their back. They show you their real self. And y'all show me that y'all are here for this ride with me. And I appreciate that. I want to be there as the 51 person for Sonya Massey. I want to be there for the next march with Tamika Mallory. When she's down there yelling in that mic for Breonna Taylor. I want to be able to shake Ben Crump's hand one more time before God takes me up out of this earth, okay? Because he's an amazing God. Tamika Mallory's amazing. Sue Ann Robinson's amazing. So I thank y'all and I appreciate y'all. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night, okay? I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow, okay? I'm out of here. I'm tired. The bitch is tired.
Miss Parker, the YouTube star, lighting up the screen, you know who you are, bringing news you can use and a laugh or two. She's got the facts, the fun, and the realest view, with a voice so smooth and a smile so bright. She's shining like a beacon in the darkest night. Deep dives on the stories that really matter. She's breaking it down, cutting through the chatter. Pop and stay a while, you'll feel right at home. She's got a little something for everyone, with a heart so big and an attitude strong. got the news to amuse and the truth to reveal. Digging for the answers, keeping it real. For those who need a champion, she's standing tall. Fighting for justice, she's giving her all. With every upload, she's making a change. Bringing people together, no matter the range. So hit that subscribe, don't miss a beat. Miss Parker's got the content that can't be beat. Questions we all have, she's not afraid to ask. Uncovering the story, she's up to the task. With a laugh, a wink, and a spirit so true, Miss Parker's got the magic and she's sharing it with you. Pop in, stay a while, you'll feel right at home. She's got a little something for everyone. With a heart so big and an act too strong. Miss Parker's where you know you belong. She's an advocate, a friend, a voice for the unheard. Asking all the questions, never missing a word. Or a second to none. She's blazing like the sun. Miss Parker, the only one. So here's to Miss Parker, the star of the show, bringing light to the world everywhere she goes. Tune in, stay tuned, you'll never be the same. Miss Parker, remember the name. Miss Parker, remember the name. So here's to Miss Parker, the star of the show, bringing light